Hi, I am Jairam Reddy, former Professor of Physics and Vice Chancellor Sri Venkateswara University. Today I will be talking on the wildfires and climate change 2, covering Arctic Circle region. Apart from the west coast of US, which I discussed last time, the other regions of the world facing raging fires this year are one, the Arctic Circle region, especially Siberia area. After an unusually warm spring, wildfires started burning since May 2020. Next is in Brazil, massive fires erupted in Amazon forest, rainforest and Pantelon wetlands area. The third is the Australia's summer bushfires in January, February 2020. Now, we will cover Arctic region today. We know that Arctic was melting for a long time, making life awful for the native people as well as for Arctic animals like polar bears. But now Arctic is also burning. The Arctic fires are now burning earlier and farther north, even in landscapes that were earlier thought to be fire resistant. The Arctic is warming at least 2.5 times faster than the global average rate. Soils, therefore, in this region are drier than before. Over the past 2 years, the Arctic has recorded 5 seasons. Global average temperatures this June, that is 2020 June, nearly matched the 2019 record. Further, the year 2020 turns out to be among the 5 hottest years on record. The Russian Academy of Sciences reports almost 20,000 fires across 35 million acres of land, mostly permafrost, burned in eastern Russia this summer. This is equivalent to an area larger than the size of Greece, the country Greece. Permafrost is the frozen ground under the piling of the snow over years. NASA, the space organization of the United States of America, estimates that this year about 50% of the fires in the Arctic Russia are burning through areas with peat soil, that is decomposed organic matter, that is a large natural carbon source. Record-breaking warm temperatures can thaw and dry frozen peatlands, making them highly flammable. Peat fires can burn longer than the ordinary forest fires and release enormous amounts of carbon into the atmosphere, because the peat soil is actually the reserve for high carbon dioxide concentration. The European sources find the average temperatures in Europe in June were 1.3 degrees warmer than the average over the period from 1981 to 2010. In those 30 years average if you take, then this year the European temperatures is more by 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit. After the intense 2019 Arctic fires, the fires in 2020 beginning in May was not so surprising through June. But what has been surprising is the rapid increase in the magnitude and intensity of the fires through July, driven by mostly a large bunch of active fires in the northern Sakha Republic, the northern Sakha Republic in the Siberia area, one of the most active fire regions in the Siberia region, said Mark Parrington, a senior scientist at the Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service in the European Center for Weather Forecasts. The climate is changing faster in the Arctic and becoming drier and warmer, which are ideal conditions for wildfires to burn, says Dr. Parrington. Several wildfires in the Sakha Republic, Russia, around and within the Arctic Circle are seen in the photo following. You can see the fires, the smoke coming up at different points of the photo. The next picture shows a fire in the Yakutia region of Siberia in early June 2020. This region has become famous. It has attracted the global attention because a small town, Verkhoyansk in Yakutia region, hit 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit later in June, which is equivalent to 38 degrees centigrade, which we commonly see in our area. Strong winds occasionally carried the plumes of these fires as far as Alaska. If you can see the map, the global map, the end of the Russia, the tip, and the tip of the Alaska are very close to each other. So in late July, the plumes were seen in Alaska. As of August 6th, approximately 19 fires were burning in the province. This year's Arctic Circle wildfires, still ablaze in September, have already exceeded the record set in 2019 in terms of carbon dioxide emissions. Dr. Parrington of European Center noted that the fires in the Arctic Russia released more carbon dioxide in June and July 2020 than in any complete fire season since year 2003, when actually the data collection began. As much as 245 megatons of carbon dioxide has been released in this year's fire season up to August 24th, compared to 181 megatons in the whole of 2019. That shows how intense are the wildfires this year. Fires in these regions are not just releasing recent surface peat carbon, but the reserves of carbon accumulated over 15,000 years, says Dr. Dorothy Pettit of NASA. And in addition to carbon dioxide, methane, a more potent greenhouse gas, is also released. If fire seasons continue to increase in the severity as well as its length, more peatlands will burn, and this source of carbon dioxide and methane make the planet Earth, even warmer, according to Dr. Dorothy. The exceptional heating in Siberia during January-June 2020 led to two important things. One, the total rise in temperature across the region is more than 9 degrees Fahrenheit above average temperatures recorded during the 1951 to 1980, 3 decades. Number two, as I just mentioned, on June 20th, shocking rise in temperature at the small Siberian town of Verkhoyansk to 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, which is equivalent to 38 degrees centigrade. This is all-time record in the north of the Arctic Circle, according to the Russian Meteorological Service. Greenpeace Russia, based on satellite data, reported an estimated 47 million acres of forests, steppes and fields have burned across Siberia since January 2020. Several scientists concluded this would not be possible in the absence of climate change. Russian Forestry Agency has decided not to extinguish more than 90% of the fires because they are all located in the so-called control zones. Forests that fall into control zones are the fires that have no effect on the local populations, and the cost of extinguishing these fires is much greater than the residual damage the fires will cause. Now you see a few more photos, nearly 3 to 4 photos, where you see the burning and the smoke evolving from the fires. The vast Siberian region has literally become a hot spot. The fires lead to significant greenhouse gas emissions that affect climate change around the world. Specialists warn that climate change is heating Russia at a rate more than twice the global average. The scientists at the European Centre observed that even though fires are part of the ecology of the Arctic, the size and intensity of the fires in the past 2 years, especially 2019 and 2020, are a cause for concern. Here is another photo also, where you can see the burning areas very clearly, and to the right end you still see the snow in that area. Several studies and climate scientists conclude that for all fires happening this summer from Siberia to the US West Coast, the deforestation has not been the main reason, but the climate change is a major factor. The 2019 Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released a special report on climate change and land, and the conclusions say that the climate change is playing an increasing role in determining wildfire seasons alongside human activity, with future climate variability expected to enhance the risk and the severity of wildfires in many biomes such as tropical rainforests. Number 2, fire weather seasons have lengthened globally between 1979 and 2013. And 3, the global area burned land has declined in recent decades, mainly due to less burning in grasslands and savannas. Thank you so much.